Okay, we're looking at right, listen here. Awesome. So a big part of one part of mathematics, geometry, is transformations. All right? And transformations are things that change the shape or position of something. All right? So we're going to look today at the first one, which I think is the easiest one, which is why I put it first, and that is translation. Does anybody know what a translation does? In maths. Esther. It does. So what could we use as another word for it moves it? Because lots of things move things. No, it doesn't ever change the shape. That's the one that translation actually holds firm on. So a translation is sometimes called a shift, or a glide. So in some places in the world, they call them glide transformations rather than a translation. All right. So what we're doing is we're just moving a shape. But it doesn't change its size or, this is a big one, orientation. So it doesn't go upside down, doesn't go spinning around like rotations and things. It just moves across the page. So there's one other thing that we like you to know about transformations, and that is what points on a shape don't move. So what points on a translation don't move? Trick question. None. All the points move the same place. So there are no points that don't move, and we call these invariant. Don't move points. All right? So let's have a look. E.g., if I draw a shape like this with my ruler, you can see my ruler, right? So you need your rulers out during transformations because I want you ruling beautiful shapes. So I've got a triangle here and I want to translate it. 3 squares right and 2 squares down. Right, so that means every point on my triangle has to move 3 squares right and 2 squares down. Okay, so I take 1 point and I do it on 1 point. 1, 2, 3, that's right. Right is this way, okay? And 2 squares down, 1, 2. That's where that point is. Now I've got a choice. I can do all of the points like that, or I can copy that triangle starting there. But what I've got to be careful of doing is not copying that triangle and starting there. I didn't move that point, I moved this one. All right? So if I'm going to move from there, I'm going to go 4 squares up, 3 squares across, and draw my triangle with my ruler. Beautiful ruler there. Again. All right? So it has moved to there. It doesn't even look the same. It's terrible. Let's try again. There, that's better. All right, so it has moved to there. Now that's the easy form of translation. When we want to do it mathematically, we need something that we don't have to write all the time. 3 squares right and 2 squares down. So what we use is a little thing called a vector. And a vector works around our XY axis. So what it does is we have positives and negatives and positives and negatives. And we have two numbers that go in a bracket. The top number is our movement this way. And the bottom number is our movement up and down. So if I want to move something by, okay, let's do an example rather than just make it up. So if I've got, let's draw a different shape and make a T. Okay, if I want to move this shape by a vector, what I would write is something like that. All right, so we're looking at the positives and negatives. The -2 says moving across this way. Okay, so the -2 says moving across this way, and the 1 says we're going to go up 1. Okay, so a vector looks like this. We're going to go 2 this way and 1 up. When we draw a vector, it looks like this, and it has an arrow on it because it is a direction. So that's our starting point for our answer. So I'm going to have to reach high into the sky. All right, so I can now draw it by going 2 up, 1 across, up, right across to here, down, back, drawing this, drawing the same shape like that. Now, the last part of this is, how do I know which one was the original and which one is the image? Different colour pen. Good point. Different colour pens would work. What if I only have one colour pen like you though and only a blue one? Exie.
You could write like OG on one of them.
Good. We need to label them in some way. Okay, so if I'm going to label them, this was my original. This corner was called A, this corner was called B, this corner was called C. I'm now going to put a dash on them. This is my first transformation. So now I know this is the image. All right, so in this one, I could just label a couple of points, A, B, C, and A dash, B dash, C dash. Or I could label them all, but I don't need to. All I'm trying to indicate is that A, B, C was the original, and A dash, B dash, C dash is my image, my shape after the transformation. Right, just going to turn this off for a second so that my video can see what I've written in the middle there, okay? Because there was a big hole in the middle. There we go. All right, so that's what we're going to do today.